Hello guys, so in response to Scav's challenge, we're going to do a tri-stick video today with the Worktuff Gear Forester. Alright, first of all we're going to cut this sapling that was going to die off anyways, cutting out at the base. We're going to use the Forester to chop off the branches, very easy, no problem at all. Alright, so the next step is to cut the sapling to size, and we're going to use the beaver cut. Basically we're making circular cuts there to remove the excess material. Of course, next step is to remove the bark, because to have a proper tri-stick you need to debark it first. So the branch was still a bit too long, so we used the beaver cut technique to remove the excess material at the end. As you can see, it's a very efficient way to cut with a small knife. Then we use some controlled cuts using the thumb to prepare the tip, so it will be the sharp tip of the tri-stick. And this sharp tip is often used to make spears, but also to make the top portion of the bow drill spindle. So one technique that I like to use to make some power cuts is the knee brace technique. So it allows to make some very controlled but powerful cuts at the same time. So now we're preparing the rounded tip of the tri-stick. So the rounded tip is usually used as the bottom portion of the bow drill spindle to create friction. So one of the most basic but often used notches is a 7 or L notch. This can be used to prepare some tent pegs, but also often used for the triggers of different traps. So one notch that I often use is a pot hook notch. So in order to prepare that notch, you need to make an X on your piece of wood, and then make a stop cut on top. Then next step would be to hollow out the wood between the X and the stop cut. So this is going to create the early portions of your hook. This is where it's important to have a sharp knife that's good at wood processing. It's also nice to use the tip of the knife with the more rounded portion. Really helps with the cuts. So after you're done doing the rough cuts, you need to use the tip of your knife to hollow out the portion just behind the hook. So you're going to have an exposed portion to hang your pot. Another notch that's quite useful is the square notch. So it's a pretty simple notch. You make 2 stop cuts, the length of your notch, and then you just hollow out the regions using your knife. And so until you get a rectangular notch. So that notch can be used for many things. It can be used for building, so similar to a log cabin notch, but also useful to prepare different traps. So again, trigger system for different traps. Sometimes you need to drill a hole through a piece of wood in order to prepare a repair needle or maybe a net making needle. So in order to do that, you can first start by making a square notch on both sides. That's going to reduce the section of the wood, and then just drill through on both sides with the tip of your knife. Alright, so that's my completed tri-stick with the sharp end and the drilled hole. We got the L7 notch, we got the pot hook notch, the square notch, and then the blunt tip. So I've been using my Forester for all sorts of bushcraft work. Here we got the version in saber grind, and it works awesome.